أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم viewers. My name is Abdullah Malik and I am a foundation level student at Rayhan School Islamabad Bahrain campus. Today I am doing my EA session with Maya on the topic of take it easy. So let's start.
Need help with, we can get right into it.
What does take it easy mean?
So take it easy is kind of a casual phrase we use to tell someone to relax, not to stress out, or just to slow down a bit.
Why do people say take it easy?
Yeah, it's kind of a exactly. It tends to come up in casual conversations when people just want to signal low pressure, calm.
Where did the phrase come from?
That's a good question. The phrase yeah, exactly. It probably
Is take it easy a friendly phrase?
yeah, it is.
When do people usually use this expression?
Absolutely. It's really just a way to remind someone to keep things in perspective, not to overburden themselves. It's kind of a universal laid back sentiment.
What is the difference between relax?
Right, and that difference is subtle but important. Take it easy is more about a personal reminder to relax, whereas yeah, exactly. Something like chill out or don't exactly. And those variations can reflect depending on the context.
What songs or movies use this phrase?
Yeah, absolutely. There's
Why do young people still use this expression today?
that's a good point.
How does tone change the meaning of the phrase?
Exactly. The phrase still keeps its
Why do people connect this phrase with peace, calmness?
there's a kind of flexibility in language. People adopt phrases because they're simple and familiar, even if exactly. And that familiarity lets it stick around, even as the context shifts or gets repurposed by different generations.
How does social media help popular phrase spread?
Definitely. Social media really accelerates how these phrases spread. So something casual like take it,
Why do people enjoy comforting words?
I think a lot of it comes down to how it fits into a culture of constant communication. People like shorthand that's easy, comforting, and familiar, especially online.
Uh, how does the phrase show a relaxed lifestyle?
Well, it kind of encapsulates this idea of not being overly rushed or pressured. So by telling someone to take it easy, you're active pace.
How do friends use take it easy in daily life?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it resonates. It's kind of a reminder to step back from constant hustle and just be present.
How does language change with time?
Language shifts all the time, often through
What
yeah, exactly. Right. And social factors really drive that change, whether it's through media, trends, or just how younger people adopt certain phrases and reshape them.
what can we learn from the phrase take it easy?
So it's interesting. It actually goes back to American English in the mid 20th century. It was popularized in music, like folk songs, and then it just spread from there.
How, how does the tone change the meaning of the phrase?
Well, over time, as people use it in different ways, it can pick up new shades of meaning. It might be used ironically or just as a general vibe check, even if it originally had a more literal meaning.
Can this phrase be used as a good guy?
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty common in casual farewells, like saying take it easy instead of goodbye, just to leave on a calm, positive note.
Why do people connect this phrase with peace and calmness?
I think it's because it kind of signals a lack of tension. It implies that everything will be okay, there's no need to rush, and you can just settle into a peaceful mindset.
What are some similar phrases in English?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it feels so natural and universal. It's not tied to a specific situation, but just a general calming ratio.
Do other languages have phrases like take it
Yeah,
easy?
exactly. It functions kind of like a verbal pause, a way to slow down the pace and remind people to just take a breath, even in a fast moving world.
How does social media help popular phrase spread?
Yeah, definitely. Social media gives these phrases a huge boost. They spread fast, and suddenly everyone is using them, even across different cultures.
Why do people enjoy comfort?
I think it's exactly. It puts these phrases right in front of us all the time, so they become part of everyday language, even if they started out as just a laid back personal phrase. Yeah, that repetition and constant exposure really shape how language evolves. So a simple phrase like that just gets embedded into daily speech.
Why are short expressions easy to remember?
Short expressions are easier to remember because they're simple, they often have a rhythm, and they tap into familiar emotions, so they just kind of stick in your mind.
Can AI
AI can quickly recognize them as patterns or common phrases, and that makes them easier to process too.
why do expressions become a part of culture?
They become part of culture because they're repeated in everyday life through conversations, media, music, so they carry a kind of shared meaning that people recognize and rely on.
Why do humans create relaxing expressions?
Of calm or a reminder to slow down without having to explain it further.
Is take it easier friendly?
It's friendly and approachable. It doesn't carry any formal weight, so it feels easy and natural in everyday conversation.
When do people usually use this expression? How does the phrase make people?
I think it gives a sense of control over pace. It's a gentle nudge to step back. So
Why do people use simply phrase in conversation?
I think it's because simple phrases are easy to remember, so they spread naturally. Plus, they often carry a universal emotional weight, so lots of people can connect with them.
Has the phrase changed over time?
Different weights.
Why do people repeat comforting phrases often?
अब आपको मिल गया है कैनवा प्रो तो कैनवा प्रो से बनाए कोई भी चैट जीपीटी से पिक्चर ना बनवाए अपना जनरेट करे
Phrases because they anchor them. Culture shapes the way we have deeper cultural or emotional weight in another.
These help things.
Exactly. So more people adopt it, and it kind of snowballs from there.
Can music make phrase and famous?
Yeah, exactly. And then once it's out there, it just keeps evolving. Sometimes it fades, sometimes it deepens, but it sticks around in the language for a while.
Why do humans enjoy positive conversations?
Well, I think it's because positive conversations create a sense of safety and connection. They reinforce shared values, reduce stress, and help people feel understood and supported.
How does body language change the meaning of take it easy?
So language changes meaning because the context shifts. People bring experiences, and that shared usage gradually molds.
Some modern phrase similar to this one.
Yeah, definitely. As people use them, they accumulate new layers of significance.
Why do people say take it easy before leaving?
Exactly. So a phrase that once just meant relax or take it slow can now carry all kinds of emotional nuance depending on who's using it and when.
How do words create friendlier relationships?
Unintrusive, just a kind of universal human way to signal calm.
Why do some phrases become timeless?
They become timeless because they tap into basic human experiences, things like peace, reassurance, or hope. So they stay relevant even as society.
How does the internet spread everyday experience?
Yeah, exactly. And because they resonate on a personal level, it spreads because people integrate them. Exactly. They pop up in daily conversation, on social media, in songs. So they just keep serving.
How does take it easy reflect modern life?
In a world that's often rushing. So it creates a mental space where we don't feel pressured, even if just briefly. हाँ, बिल्कुल। तुम जो भी पूछना चाहते हो आराम से पूछ सकते हो। मैं ध्यान से सुनूंगा और कोशिश करूंगा कि तुम्हें एक स्पष्ट और तर्कसंगत जवाब दूं।
What role does language play in reducing stress?
हाँ, बिल्कुल। मैं ध्यान से सुन रहा हूँ। तुम अपने सवाल या विचार खोलकर बताओ और मैं उसे गहराई से समझने की कोशिश करूंगा ताकि हम ठीक से उस पर चर्चा कर सकें।
So well, this is about AI conversation. I hope you like it. We will meet in another. Ole, take care of yourself. Allah Pakistan Zindabad.
हाँ